Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Texas Bull, Mr. Jeff Hopson.
Thank you all. Appreciate you having us back out. Y'all ready to jam a little bit tonight? Some true Texas honky-tonk music. Mr. Robbie White and the Tejas Gringos are in the house. I'm looking forward to it. First thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and a youngin's dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound. No one could change my mind, but Mama tried. One and only rebel child from a family meek and mild. My mama seemed to know what lay in store. In spite of all my Sunday learning, toward the bad I kept on turning until Mama couldn't hold me anymore. I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried, Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Dear old daddy, rest his soul, left my mom a heavy load, and she tried so very hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanted me to have the best, and she tried to raise me right, but I refused. Now I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried, Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Thank you, appreciate it. You could actually bring just a hair bit of this monitor out, just roll it back just a little bit. That's gonna work right there, thank you. Gonna do one of my songs for you. Y'all say hey to Mr. Kyle Wade Smith over here on harmonica, singing some harmony with me, would you? Yeah. I know you've been lying, you've been deceiving me, and I think you should know. You put on a real good show, but I ain't buying, 'cause real life drama's got no actors reading lines and no poets making rhymes. So take a long, long walk and make up lots of reasons. You can blame it all on me. 'Cause Clark Gable's not around to give a about your heartache. You've built a silver screen around your mind. Episodes of fiction imitate the lives of lovers, and true love in real life is hard to find. I'm hoping you'll excuse me while I show myself the exit. I've had all your performance I can stand. I can take the bitter with the sweet, and you love to spoil the ending. So why don't you search and find yourself a novel sort of man? You're used to taking what you want from men like me. If I was on a gambling spree, I'd be betting that you're still reading life the way it's never been. Forget them credits at the end, so keep your head up in the clouds. Save your lines for someone listening. You'll cry one day, and someone else will say, Clark Gable's not around to give a damn about your heartache. You've built a silver screen around your mind. Episodes of fiction imitate the lives of lovers, and true love in real life is hard to find. And I'm hoping you'll excuse me while I show myself the exit, 'cause I've had all your performance I can stand. I can take the bitter with the sweet, and you love to spoil the ending. So why don't you search and find yourself a novel sort of man?
Thank you all. Appreciate you. Thanks a lot. This is a brand new song I'm gonna play for you right now. I just wrote this one. My old boots are sitting over by the front door. They're looking at me like they're wanting me to put them on and hit the road. My domestic partner found a better offer. He lets her ride for free. I'm thinking I need a new plan before I explode. Now her and that little bit of sissy dog, they've left new scars. And they're the last two bitches that are ever gonna piss on me. I got 2 pairs of jeans and 5 or 6 shirts, and my CDs are in my car. It don't look like much, but she purrs when I stick in my key. I got them walking, talking, highway stalking blues. I've been sitting at home with my ramble on, a lot out there to lose. This time is killing me, and Lord knows I've paid my dues. I got them walking, talking, highway stalking got to get out of here blues. Brother Kyle. They say the pen is mightier than the sword, or something along those lines. She won't see me coming. That girl ain't got a clue. There's a whole lot more to this long-haired boy than something she's left behind. When them songs hit the radio, what's she gonna do? I got them walking, talking, highway stalking blues. I've been sitting at home with my ramble on, and a lot out there to lose. This domestic life's been killing me. Lord knows I've paid my dues. I got them walking, talking, highway stalking, get out of here blues. I got them walking, talking, highway stalking, got to get out of here. I gotta get out of here blues. Thank you. Get a haircut. Who said that? Probably some kind of preacher probably said that back
Some
there.
old boy losing all his hair. That's all that is.
You ain't right, boy. All right, here's another one of mine for you. This is this is another one of my tunes. It's called Down the Road. People make a lot of noise about being free. I can go where I want to go. Guess I can do what I please. It's a heavy load to carry when you think of who you hurt on the way. He who travels fast must travel alone, so they say. I've been knowing the hum of the highway since I've been alive. I've been from Tennessee to Tampa by the tender young age of 5. And by the time we hit Carolina, I was beginning to see that my daddy's restless heart was a beating inside of me. And when you're down the road, you kind of lose your definition of home. And the pictures in my wallet tend to quicken my mind, and I remember where it all went wrong. I'm thinking the Lord's kind of made up his mind. I'll pay for my sins on the white line. Fill her up at the station, then I'll bide my time down the road. 5 in the morning and there ain't a single soul in sight. Wipers are beating back the rain just before daylight, and I'm beating back the flood of 1,001 mistakes. And I don't know if I should hit the gas or lock down the brake. Ran with the devil back years ago. It was more of a dance than it was a fight. Now watching all the love I threw away, say goodbye and never said of those hell red tail lights. And when you're down the road, you kind of lose your definition of home. And the pictures in my wallet tend to quicken my mind, and I remember where it all went wrong. I could have had me a son, but I don't want to see him looking down the road when he's looking for me. Freedom ain't all it's cracked up to be. Down the road, down the road. All right, thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank Kyle Wade Smith for coming up and playing with me tonight. Little song for all you outlaws out there. I can't sell my mama short on loving me. I guess that's why she let me go so far. Mama tried to stop me short stealing, and I guess that's why I had to steal that car. She told me not to smoke it, but I did, and it took me far away. And I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. Now we rolled into Atlanta on stolen tags and almost out of gas. And I had to get some money. Lately I learned how to get it fast. And Lord, them neon lights kept calling me. Somehow I just had to get downtown. So I reached into the glove box. Another liquor store went down. And I said, precious memories, take me back to the good old days. When I could hear my mama singing, a rock of ages clipped for me. She tried to turn me on to Jesus, but I turned on to the devil's ways. And I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. They put them handcuffs on me. Lord, how I fought to resist. But they just clamped them tighter, and that metal bit into my wrist. And they took my belt and my bill ain't locked away. The only hell my mama ever raised. And I said, precious memories, take me back to the good old days. Let me hear my mama singing a Rock of Ages clip for me. And she tried to turn me on to Jesus, but I turned on to the devil's ways. And I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank y'all, appreciate that. I'm gonna do another one of my tunes for you. Wrote this one back late last year. Went on a little writing binge back in the fall of last year and turned out about 5 or 6 songs that I know some guys that can write 5 or 6 songs in a week. I'm not that guy. This is called Like Kerouac on the Run. I was waiting downtown at the station for a bus to get me out of here. I'd wore out my welcome, it was time to move along. Guitars and pawn shops and bones and closets and a bad taste in my mouth were the residue of everything that I'd done wrong. A ham and Swiss and a Mountain Dew were gonna be my closest friends. I hope they'll stick with me till we make it to another town. And that 315 from Abilene pulled in down at South Lamar. It swung open the door, and that's when I saw her step on down. And she looked for all the world like Grace Slick back in '69. Toting bags and purple scarves and long dark hair. And somehow she managed to light a smoke and then tripped when she kicked the curb. And all them bags of hers went scattering everywhere. Chivalry took over me and I helped her pick 'em up. I said, them curbs are killers. She blushed and said, yeah, they are. Then she broke out laughing, so I joined in and we talked for a little while. She said, where are you headed? I said, maybe not that far. And she talked a lot about Rasputin, Jesus, and Townes Van Zandt. Now she found herself in the Arizona sun. And how Dylan and Parsons had written her life and how she was their biggest fan. They ended up being out there like Kerouac on the run. I thought the gods had smiled on me, and I sat there and missed my bus while we talked about cabins up on the coast of Maine. And I was hoping that the topic of the conversation might turn to us, but the dark clouds rolled in when I asked her name. She turned her face away from me, she stared off down the road, and and I could hear the wounded beast she held inside. She said perfect moments are hard to come by, and we should let them be, 'cause every good thing changes, don't miss your ride. Now not a day goes by and I don't think about her. I'll never be the same, 'cause I felt a little more like a human since that day. When she gathered her bags and pulled in her clouds and climbed aboard the bus, a sad smile through the window and that Greyhound pulled away. But she talked a lot about Rasputin, Jesus, and Townes Van Zandt, and how she found herself in the Arizona sun, and how Dylan and Parsons had written her life, and how she was their biggest fan, and of being out there like Kerouac on the run. Yes, she's still out there like Kerouac on the run. Thank you, appreciate it. You know, I do have an A song, but you can sing harmony on it, since you ain't got a spit fiddle that you can play in A.
That's my words.
Any of y'all remember an old 60s country singer that extended on into the 70s? His name was Stonewall Jackson. This is one of his songs. Well, I was born in Macon, Georgia. They kept my dad in the Macon jail. Dad said, son, if you keep your hands clean, you won't have them bloodhounds on your trail. But I fell in with bad companions. We robbed a man up in Tennessee. They drove way up in Nashville. They're gonna lock me up and throw away the key. I wash my hands in muddy water. I washed my hands, but they didn't come clean. I tried to do what Daddy told me, but Lord, I must have washed my hands in a muddy stream. I asked the jailer, man, when's my time up? He said, son, we won't forget, but if you try to keep your hands clean, Lord, we might make a good man of you yet. But I couldn't wait to do my sentence, and I broke out of that Nashville jail, and I just crossed that Georgia state line, and I can hear them bloodhounds on my trail. I wash my hands in muddy water. Wash my hands, but they didn't come clean. I tried to do what Daddy told me, but I must have washed my hands in a mud must have washed my hands in a muddy street. Well, I must have washed my hands in a muddy stream. Oh, in a muddy stream. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I'm struggling up here.
Hey, Jeff. When you gonna play some country music?
Some country music?
You know, we play both kinds here, country and western.
Yeah. Well, that was Stonewall Jackson, man. Lord have mercy.
I just had to pick on you, man.
I had to go for the cheap shot up tempo song, get somebody on the dance floor a moment. I was weak. I'm sorry. Forgive me, Lord. Thank you. Yeah. All right, by God, you want country? I'll give you country. The warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom, and I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest. And I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my guitar play and friend do my request. Let it sing me back home with a song I used to hear, make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Sing me back home before I die. I recall last Sunday morning, a choir from off the streets came in to sing a few old gospel songs, and I heard him tell the singers, there's this song my mama sang. Could I hear it once before you move along? Let it sing me back home with a song I used to hear. Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Sing won't you sing me back home before I die? There was that gospel choir I was looking for.
Thank you, Robbie.
Appreciate it, buddy. Oh, I've just got about enough throat left for maybe a couple of 3 more songs. I don't have to crawl down from here. I'm fighting all this allergy stuff. It's got my throat all ragged out. Sorry if it sounds like crap, y'all, but
That's because you're from Tennessee.
well, I left my home out on a rural route. I told my pa I'm going stepping out and get the honky-tonk blues. Yeah, the honky-tonk blues. Well, Lord, I've got 'em. I got the honky-tonk blues. Stopped into every place in town. This city life has really got me down. I got the honky-tonk blues. Yeah, the honky-tonk blues. Well, Lord, I've got 'em. I got the honky-tonk blues. What you got for me, Kyle? To the dance, I wore out my shoes. Woke up this morning wishing I could lose them jumping honky-tonk blues. Yeah, the honky-tonk blues. Well, Lord, I've got 'em. I got the honky-tonk blues. I'm gonna pack my worries underneath my arm, scat right back to my pappy's farm and leave these honky-tonk blues. Yeah, the honky-tonk blues. Well, Lord, I've got 'em. I got the honky-tonk blues. Yeah, Lord, I've got 'em. I got the honky-tonk blues. Original Hank Williams stuff for you. This is one of my songs. It's called "Fight the Good Fight." And this song was basically based on a verse of Scripture in the New Testament, actually. The Apostle Paul is commanding people to fight the good fight, stay in the race, you know, keep your chin up. And I think in these economic times, that's probably a pretty good message that we all need to take a good look at, support each other, be there for each other, keep our heads up, keep fighting forward. This is called Fight the Good Fight. I don't mean to preach a sermon in the words of my song. I believe in live and learn from day to day. And I believe in having good times, and sometimes good times lead to wrong. You gotta learn to read the road signs that are pointing to a better way. I was taught to follow Jesus, who could save a wretch like me. And what a wretch I came to be when I left home. My gypsy soul's off and running, but sometimes running free means you gotta walk that lonesome valley all alone. so don't pass judgment on that stranger there and that crazy path he's on. 'Cause that cup he drinks just might be a little more bitter than your own. You gotta fight the good fight, you gotta run the race. Even when the cold hard fist of consequence falls hard upon your face, you gotta get back up, no matter what it takes. You gotta fight the good fight, you gotta run the race. We've all got a load to carry, and we've all got to carry on. And when the time is right, we can all get a little wild, stepping up to do the right thing, no matter what we fall upon. You gotta take the steps of a grown man with the faith of a little child. Now there's a lot of good men and women out there killing themselves to live. The weight of the world is about to break them down. They're working and living and loving and giving everything they've got to give. And when the going gets tough, they'll rally the wagons around. 'Cause we've got this little bit of country wisdom, it's tried and it's true. If you're looking out for me and mine, brother, we're looking out for you. You gotta fight the good fight, you gotta run the race. Even when the cold hard fist of consequence falls hard upon your face, you gotta get back up, no matter what it takes. You gotta fight the good fight, you gotta run the race. You gotta fight the good fight, you gotta run the race. Appreciate it. Thank y'all. Gospel that one out.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey, I hadn't heard that. That's good.
All right, I think I'm going to do. What am I doing on time, Shane? I don't want to fall short or go over. What's doing all right? Got time for about a 7-minute song?
Yeah, why not?
If I'm going over, just tell me, dude.
No, you're fine.
All right. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do one more for you. After doing a song about hope and determination and staying alive and all that positiveness, I'm going to do a killing song now. Because we like contrasts and balance, you know. This is a song I wrote last year just primarily because I felt like there needed to be one like this written, and there aren't enough of them, so I wrote myself one. It's called Moanin'. Hope you like it. I was out of town November 92's I recall. I made a run through the Northwest, and it was way down in the fall. Worked real hard to get done early. Thanksgiving's around the bend. I had to get home to my woman and bring this homesick to an end. Got it all done and I headed home 2 days ahead of time. I killed the lights as I pulled in, wore out but feeling fine. A dim light from our bedroom window cast an amber glow on me. She likes to read them romance novels till she falls fast asleep. And I heard moaning in the night. She's caught up in a nightmare, clutching her pillow tight. I slipped off my shoes and I went upstairs to kiss her tossing head. And when I opened the door, they were coiled up like two snakes upon our bed. A calm resolve possessed me, something in me died. Like a ghost, I slipped back down the stairs, back outside. That cold blue steel in my glove box, it was a savior in my hand. And I loaded 6 prophets to speak for me, and put 2 rattlesnakes in the sand. And tongues of fire leapt from the mouth of that Smith & Wesson gun. 6 peals of thunder in the heavens, and then the deed was done. The room returned to silence, the cold stillness in the night, except the chilling sound of their moaning, dying in the moonlight. And I heard moaning in the night. Gunpowder and blood are the incense that'll make 2 wrongs a right. The night sky turned to red and blue, and something chilled me to the bone. The hell, I knew they were coming to get me, but Lord, I could hear them sirens moan. The trial made local headlines. It didn't take too long to see what 12 of my peers were thinking about, what they were gonna do with me. They sat at a table behind closed doors for about an hour or so. Then they filed back in and they sat down. Bailiff closed the door. Now it was written in all of their faces like 10 commandments carved in stone. He told me to rise and look him in the eyes, and I stood there all alone. He said, why in this world would you resolve your problems with 6 rounds of lead? I said, a desperate attempt to stop that moaning from ringing in my head. Well, they let me say just one more thing before they let me out. I said, y'all about to understand some things I've been talking to you about. When we're in that chamber of death, you're gonna sit in your chairs there as right as rain until you hear the sound of my moaning, when your poison numbs my brain. The years are gonna come and they will go, you'll move on just the same, until the wind of a train moaning in the night starts driving you insane, and you're gonna hear moaning, and you'll sleep at night. It'll fill your head with nightmares, clutching your pillow tight. Closure ain't that easy. I'm just another old rattlesnake dead. You'll have to learn to live with the sound of my moaning ringing in your head. There ain't nothing can haunt your midnights like moaning in your head. Thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate you.
No. Y'all can make more noise than that, I feel sure.